too late for the blueprint to be rewritten. The only option is to knuckle down.
Wales, cautious positivity, buoyed and swollen again. They stay true to themselves.
Here the old guard is still on song, still standing tall when it matters most.
The power of Jesse Kriel, the speed of Jesse Kriel. What a response by the Boks.
But there is an evolution.
Rugby at its best. Lucy Moyen, you can't coach that. It's called instinct.
Fresh faces, new threats.
Zachary Fortin, the youngster, 22 years old.
More ways to hurt you than ever before.
That had everything. Power, precision, beautiful brutality. Gets through it. Ambrose Fabrice shows over the face. Brilliance! Brilliance!
And they'll need to show it off. Because across the field stands a spirit and a pride that will refuse to lie down. Not even against the world champions.
My goodness, Wales went up 1 or 2 gears there.
There was a purpose, there was an execution, and they got a lot of that right.
From the first minute, a true contest. It's all about the physicality today. This is our home. Listen to the roar.
Welcome to Hollywood Bet's Kings Park. It's the Springboks against Wales on your World of Champions.
A very good afternoon to you on Grandstand on what is a wonderful celebratory day here in South Africa, the birthday of our former statesman Nelson Mandela, and some of the quotables that he has left us with are seen as you enter the stadium precinct here at Kings Park in Durban. And he has said so much over the years, but my favorite will always be sport has the power change the world. Those were his words at the Laureus World Sports Awards back in 2000, and what a quotable it is, because it really does change the world. And today we'll be seeing how the world changes in the Nations Championship. Wales making their way into the stadium this afternoon, a team that is on the rebuild. One win in 2 matches in the Nations Championship so far for the world champions, and looking to change things, looking to build depth with the Rugby World Cup 2027 in mind. And just what depth do they have? A raft, 10 changes that Rassie Erasmus has made coming into this one, having already made 10 changes for the second test as well. So yet another test for all the young stars that are coming through in the green and gold. And what a stunning evening it is on the east coast of South Africa. Sisethekwini eGagasini. So if you ever feel cold in a South African winter, make sure that you get that flight to Durban, because gumnandi la ekhaya. Thank you so much for joining us here on your World of Champions, round 3 of the Nations Championship, the North versus the South, and we're hoping that South Africa will add yet another tick on the South bar. I'm joined by former international Steven Kitshoff, Opa Mohoje, and Carlo Del Fava, our favorite Italian, also joins us this afternoon. What have you thought of the tournament proper so far? Are you enjoying it? The rivalry seems to be growing between North and South.
Well, it's 100%. I think the rivalry has been great, and I think if you watch throughout all the games, they've just been incredible. The results have been happening. The teams are up and they're fighting. I think it's tough for the Northern Hemisphere to travel and to be all over the Southern Hemisphere and catch long flights, but I think the format of the competition is amazing. I think it leads up to quite a spectacular November final game at Twickenham.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. Oops.
Yeah, it's quite exciting, and you really can't tell between North and South which one is better so far. We've got the Argentina coming up next very soon, so that's going to be exciting as well. But now the biggest focus is the Springboks. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, South Africa up against Wales. That's a big one, Carlo. A morning game. New Zealand up against Ireland. Your thoughts on that? With, of course, rugby's greatest rivalry coming up. We have to keep our eye on the All Blacks.
And the All Blacks, they were lighting things up. I mean, you're going close to an All Black team of old. 200 carries, 10 line breaks. The speed of play at moments in that game was just incredible. Direct running, you got the big guys making the interplay between the forwards. The scrum looks solid. Guys exploding off the back of the scrum. I mean, look at that. That is just unreal. It's very hard to deal with. Seeing that pace of play, they take away your time to think about anything as well. It's just such a jeopardy to bringing things back into play again when you now got this tee-up of greatest rivalry against the Boks as well.
Yeah, really, the Dave Rennie era is looking pretty good. Look, some calls that also didn't go Island way this morning, but it doesn't seem like the Island that we know and adore. They seem very flat this morning, Stephen.
They did, and I think this New Zealand side is gearing up for something special throughout the rest of this season and going into the World Cup. Dave Rennie has got a squad together that he's very happy with, that's explosive, that plays the game in the right way and actually lives with that New Zealand DNA. So a couple of calls that went against Ireland, but I'm still feeling that this Ireland team's got a lot to prove going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, it certainly does. Some of the results from this morning, victory from France as well against Japan, so they're 2 out of 3 in the Southern Hemisphere tour. And then Australia picking up their first win of the championship against Italy. Opa, your thoughts on the Wallabies?
Yeah, look, the Wallabies are still growing. They're developing side. I think they still have a lot of work to do. Next year's World Cup, so they still want to prove themselves, you know. But a couple of losses at home as well, which is obviously unacceptable, especially when you're playing at home. But it is about the growth for next year as well.
Yeah, the growth of next year in mind. Fiji, Scotland, that is the latest game on the go at the moment, yet to finish, so we'll bring you the full-time score when it does. And then, it's a big dance in Argentina. They're up against England tonight. That is going to be helter-skelter. Make sure that you're in front of your tellies to watch that one as well. But all eyes here in Durban for this one. South Africa up against Wales. They're sitting second at the moment, are the world champions, 10 points with 2 wins in 2. Wales in 5th as far as the Northern Hemisphere standings are concerned. Only 1 victory so far, and that was up against Fiji. Any upsets that you think we'll see leading up to London Twickenham?
Just looking at the current Fiji-Scotland game, and it looks like Fiji is coming out to play. But I think probably for South Africa and New Zealand, it's going to become the points difference game at the end of the day. New Zealand looks sharp. They're scoring a lot of tries, so they're getting bonus points. But for South Africa, it would have to be building that points difference. So today, you'll probably see a lot of opportunities going to the corner, trying to build a points difference so they can stay at the top of that Southern Hemisphere log.
And even that northern hemisphere tour that the Boks are going to be going on. They've got Italy, they've got Ireland, they've got France. That French test is going to be absolutely brilliant, because I think that's going to culminate into a lot of crucial victories in that era. So yeah, they've got their hands cut out even on that outgoing tour. It's going to be tough.
It is definitely going to be tough. Let's talk a little bit about playing here in Durban in the winter. I know a lot of teams are always talking about just how sticky and dewy it is in the summer. How is it now?
Look, I think it's still a bit similar, especially when the sun starts to set a bit. You know, it gets a bit humid, so the ball will become slippery. I do believe that the kicking game is going to be quite important. Playing into position, I do believe that your set piece is going to be quite. We're all forwards here, so you know everything about set piece basically. so that's going to be quite important as well. And the team that executes that the best today is the one that's going to go away with points, I believe.
For you, Stevie?
Yeah, I think as well, like with a little bit of a later kickoff compared to what we normally know, the 5 o'clock kickoff, it's going to be a bit slippery. We're going to probably see a lot of set pieces, a lot of scrum battles. So that's where we get the big guys involved in the game, and it gets quite exciting. So it's going to be helter-skelter. It's going to be teams are going to try and play, but it's going to come down to those tactical battles when it comes to set piece to see who plays in the right area of the field.
Yeah, we just saw a picture of Bongi Mbonambi as well as Vincent Koch, 2 men who know exactly what it's like to play in Durban as well. But we're going to head over downstairs to Sam Lutiti. He's joined by Robbie Kempson, and another man that knows just what it takes to play and win here in Durban, none other than Springboks and Shuri and Tendai Beast Mtawarira. Welcome to your World of Champions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mots. 11 years for the Beast down on this field, and 5 years for Robbie Kempson. We're going to be talking to them in a couple of moments about, you know, what it takes to play in this side. But Beast, firstly, welcome. You're making a habit of debuting against Wales, because the first time you put the green and gold on was against the Welsh too.
No, that's very true, Sam. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the team. So obviously, I'm very special. I made my debut in 2008 against a very strong Welsh side, and I think obviously they've suffered over the last couple of seasons, but I can sense a resurgence. You know, they're on their way back. Welsh rugby have always contributed massively to world rugby. So looking forward to what they produce out there today.
We're going to dig into Wales in just a few moments, but Robbie, I want to bring you in here. I mean, the conversation that Mots and the guys were having upstairs about the dew through and you know how sticky it gets out in Durban. You've spent quite a bit of time here. Between then and how things look now, is there some comparison still?
No, when I walked out, I mentioned to you, it's so good to be home again. Absolutely outstanding coming into the stadium. Yeah, listen, winters in Durban are absolutely fantastic. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's not too much humidity. Not too much humidity tonight either, so perhaps not as slippery as it might be come February, March. And I agree with Kitsi said as well, a forward-orientated game. There might be a few more scrums than normal, just in view of it being slightly slippery later on.
With that being said, I mean, you guys have played a lot of rugby here. Let's look at the concept of scrummaging in Durban compared to scrummaging in other parts of the country as well. Beast, talk us through, you know, some of the intricacies that need to go into the scrum game here in Durban.
Yeah, obviously this is a perfect platform to, you know, have a good scrummaging day. You know, Kings Park is solid under the foot, so you're not going to be slipping and sliding up front. So it's going to be a really nice contest. I enjoyed scrummaging here, you know, wearing a Sharks jersey and a Springbok jersey. I had some good days at the office. So I think today will be a perfect, you know, scene set for a spectacle, and hopefully the Welsh can step up to the plate because it's going to be a tough challenge, you know, facing a formidable Springbok front row.
Yeah, one of those games was against Phil Vickery. He's still mates?
Yeah, we still mates. Hey, Phil, I love you, man. Just letting you know. You know, you were at the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. You know, I had to.
We might be getting a little bit of that a little bit later on tonight, but let's start speaking about some of the players who have been influential within the Springbok side over the last couple of matches, Robbie. And you're looking within that forward pack, and you start to think about a gentleman by the name of de Villiers, Paul de Villiers, who's really starting to make his mark in the green and gold.
Yeah, no, third game in a row. I think he's put in a lot of effort. They talk about battle stats. His battle stats are quite significant when it comes to the amount of effort he puts into each of these matches. And you look at Steenkamp as well, and Alused also plying his trade there, putting a lot of hard yards in. And then today we have, you know, a debutant all the way from France giving us a bit of a go, Carlos Sardi.
Your thoughts on that as well? You know, the forward pack and how they're coming together to galvanise the South African side, as has been the case over the years?
Yes, I'm very excited. You know, obviously as an ex-statesman, you know, got to play in this team for a very long time. And it's nice to see the legacy continuing up front, you know, with that pride in the scrum. And just to see, like, you know, characters like Kalu Sadi now, you know, getting a chance. I think it's well-deserved. You know, Kalu has been a bit of a journeyman, has played for 5 teams, and I think has found his home there in Bordeaux and has done really well. So I think it deserves his calling today. Yeah.
While we're looking at those debutants, 4 of them for the Springboks, Robbie, what's going through their minds? How were they feeling?
Perhaps a slight bit of nerves. I think Vusi Moyo, his first game, he's quite a young chap, but he's got an incredible spine around him. He's got Visser, you know, he's got Jesse Krill, he's got Damien de Allender. He's got one of the most experienced scrum-offs there as well. So the way they've actually set up Vusi to have his opportunity, I think is fantastic to have that experience around him in a big game like today on his debut.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to, particularly from these 4 players. And Mots, we're going to get to you in just a few moments, but it's taking a special moment to just understand what has all come together for these 4 gentlemen.
The Springbok machine is firing on all cylinders. The production line keeps rolling, with fresh talent bolstering an already formidable squad without losing any momentum on the field. This week, there are 4 new members being welcomed into the Springbok family.
You know, they've been with us for 7 weeks. We think that they can step up and do the job for us again as well.
These new caps are headlined by 20-year-old fly half Vusi Moyo, who becomes the 4th different fly half to start for the Boks in their last 4 tests. This shows the depth in a position where they were once scrambling for quality backup.
When Coach Rossi named the team, my heart skipped a beat. Yeah, it's like a pinch me moment. I still can't believe it.
Moyo steered the junior Boks to glory at last year's World Rugby Under-20 Championship and is being well prepared to take a step up to senior level.
Andrew told me if I need anything, I might just go chat to him. Today, Manny was helping me with the details. It's so special knowing that 2 of the best flags in the world are helping you. So, yeah, I just need to implement those skills. Ever since I came into the Springbok setup, myself and Yaku have been together the whole time. We've actually become good mates.
Running out with him is his junior Springbok teammate Yako Williams, who makes his senior debut still a few weeks short of his 21st birthday.
Williams kicking for himself to chase. He's on his bike. He's done it all himself.
The electric winger managed 4 tries in that tournament and brought his form back to the URC with the Sharks.
That man a scrum cap.
The 2 debutants in the forwards have been made to wait a bit longer for their chance. Towering lock Ruben van Heerden has worked tirelessly to earn this opportunity, with his physicality, work rate and line-out smarts for the Stormers catching the selector's eye.
When he plays for the Stormers, I think Andre Hugo has got one of the best accuracy in line-out, and Ruben calls the line-out.
Carlo Sardi has faced incredible competition to take the hotly contested number 3 jersey. He is a back-to-back winner of the Champions Cup with Bordeaux Begla, and this success in the world's toughest club rugby tournament will stand him in good stead to make the step up to international rugby.
Oh, special here. Had the Barbarians on roller skates.
It's a constant fight for the right to wear the Springbok jersey, and these 4 newcomers will not be giving up their place too easily.
The quality of depth in the South African side is staggering. A match like this against Wales and 4 debutants that have been named. And Sam and the team at downstairs were just speaking a little bit, glossing over some of those names. And we just want to get some of the thoughts from the gentleman upstairs here. Stephen, looking at a man like Carlo Sardi, what would be your advice to him on his debut test match?
Just to go out and enjoy it. I think he's got all the experience in winning those international competitions with Europe, with UBB. I think he's got the experience and he's got the backing and he's got a team around him of forwards that's just incredible and just works so hard. So I think for him just to run out, enjoy the atmosphere, give it his all, and play for 45, 50 minutes until he gets subbed off. So for him, it's a big moment. He's late 20s, and yeah, it's just such an incredible opportunity.
Is it the perfect time, though, for a prop like him, late 20s?
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a journeyman. So he played at the Stormers, he went to the Sharks, Lions, and then went to go play his trade in France. So he's such a young talent and such a good guy. So for him to earn that experience, to build that experience throughout the very, very tough competitions, especially in the top 14, it's well deserved, and I think for him, he's at the right age, he can perform, and hopefully we see him many more times in the Springbok jersey.
Yeah, another man that was preparing to go off to the top 14, Montpellier, is Ruben van Heerden, and then he gets the call from Charles to say, hey, you need to come and join us in camp. What do you think ahead of his debut today?
Yeah, look, it's exciting for Ruben to finally get his opportunity. And look, in my past experiences playing with the locks that have confidence, I think Ruben needs to back himself in the lineouts. He needs to know that he's the man when he gets there, he controls it. And that's how a team has confidence in you, especially your forwards. If you know your thing in the lineouts, then your forwards can back you, and that's all you need. And that's where you get more tries, you get more winning opportunities, and you get execution excellent. So Ruben going into that field today, he needs to know that in the lineouts, he's the man, he's taking charge, and he just needs to apply his trade. He's old enough. He's been there before. He's been almost all over the world. So he knows how to play this. So he may just get there, just do what he does, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, good confidence for the young man. What do you think the switch, how do you think the switch actually from the Sharks to the Stormers for Ruben helped him in getting back into the national side?
You know what, I think just as you go deeper into your career and as you age a bit more as well, you're looking at different ways of approaching the game, and I think line-out calling is such an intricate part of the game, and it's such a vital foundation on where you win the ball in the line-out, how teams defend, how you're gonna attack ball, and getting that platform for the backs to actually play off. It's a huge responsibility on your shoulders, and you actually take time to mature into that role. It's not an easy thing to get right, and then all of a sudden now you get thrown into test match pressure. That skill's going to be tested really hard.
Yeah, hopefully he's got the smarts. We've seen him in the hoops for the doing exactly what he needs to do, so I have no doubt he'll be very confident going into these ones. And then the young stars, the backline, I wish we had a backline somebody in this production, because the forwards are like, no, forwards first. But Vusimoyo, Yaku Williams, 2 very exciting youngsters that are debuting for South Africa today. Talk me through your excitement for these 2 in particular.
Yeah, I think both of them still at 20 years old, so you can just see throughout the under-20s campaign and the victory they had last year in Italy, winning the under-20s championship. they're just such young talents, and I think being exposed to Test match rugby at such a young age, it actually gives the guys around them a lot of confidence. I think with Moyo, and he's got Kobus Reinhoff on his inside, Damien de Allende on his outside, two very, very experienced players to help guide him, and just, if anything goes astray, they're there just to back him up, just to give him confidence, and just to allow him to play his natural game, because he's exciting, he carries the ball well, he kicks it very well, and he just needs to go out today and express himself.
I love when you talk about Vusi Moyo's natural game. I think against the Barbarians, he had a bit of time where he took the ball up flat to the line, and that's exactly what you want. I think Pollard also debuted at 20 years old, so Moyo has a lot of time. He's got a lot to learn, and I think this is a perfect chance and opportunity for him to grow under Pollard.
Yeah, under Pollard, definitely. He's called him as one of the players that have really been able to help him and shape him in the last few weeks that they have been together. What are you expecting from these youngsters today?
You know what, there's such exciting talent. One of the things, obviously, Vusi's he's got the physical ability, he's got the mental ability, but one of the key characteristics that's coming out is just his calmness. And I mean, behind the pack, you guys were talking about it earlier, the pack's going to fire, and then you've got a nice calm 10 that can just put players into position, manage the forwards' energy as well. That's something that's going to be a real asset today.
Yeah, we're speaking about Handré Pollard, and he's unfortunately joined the very long injury list for South Africa, but an opportunity yet again to test the squad depth.
Yeah, I think it's probably something that South Africa has been struggling with a lot this year, is just that ever-growing injury list. But it just shows still like what depth has been created in the squad. And I think Rassie just making 10 changes at a time and just getting opportunity to new guys. And I think Paulie as well last week got subbed off. Unfortunately, Ethan Hooker got a head knock and came back on, and he played such a solid game. So yeah, it just shows the 10 jerseys never settled. I think with Sasha still being out, Handré back on a bit of form, it's just so exciting to see the future of the backline of the Springbok team.
And what's that play you see, as he's taking that ball up on the exit, that was 74 minutes on the clock. He's now made this last play with that small little grubber kick through for Jesse. And I mean, playing 6 minutes in a test match, that's nice and tight, and you got a hamstring that's hanging off the end of it as well. That's just pure commitment. That's like heroic stuff.
Yeah, and man of the match. Man of the match at Loftus as well. A game that he needed to gain that confidence yet again.
Yes, look, I don't ever remember Pollard playing a bad game for the Springboks. So I think he's every time he puts a green and gold jersey, he delivers to perfection, and that's exactly what he did last week. And look, he's got high standards for himself, and he keeps it up, then he can go a couple more years, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the future is bright as far as the number 10 jersey is concerned. There's going to be plenty of debate also going into rugby's greatest rivalry. Let's head back downstairs now to Sam Tendai as well as Robbie K. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Vusi Moyo in particular, how you think he'll be marshalling the Springbok pack this evening?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mots. The future is very bright in all parts of the field, but one of the things that she's asking here, Beast, which is quite intricate as well, that Mots is talking about, is Vusi Moyo, who's debuting. You know, your thoughts around how he's going to marshal the troops tonight?
No, I think Vusi's going to have a good day at the office. You know, I think the forwards are going to lay a nice platform for the backs to have front foot ball. So all he has to do is just enjoy the moment. He's got Damien and JC on his outside. So much experience, obviously, and Kobus on the inside. So it's going to be a good day for Vusi.
You're also fresh off of being in this setup. What's the mood like inside the camp when these youngsters are coming into the side and making their debuts at the high stages?
I think there's a lot of excitement. You know, every time there's a debutant, a new Bok in town, you know, everybody celebrates that. And I think the older guys are just trying to make sure that, you know, they're cool, calm, and collective. Not panicking that they have to change anything about their game when it comes to playing. So it's all about just being their natural selves, going out there and enjoying the moment and taking it all in.
It's going to be happening up front as well, Robbie, because you look at who's alongside Karulusari, who's also making his debut. You look at who's alongside Van Heerden as well, who's also making his debut. So a good mixture of experience with the youth, or the, in inverted commas, international youth that's coming in for the Springboks.
Yes, that and the captain perhaps is coming behind him in the vital scrums. So, no, I think with all that experience around these guys, they're just going to win the little battles throughout the game. You know, each match is a series of little battles, and it's how you go about winning those battles against your opposition. and how you go about, also putting yourself in the right positions at the right time. A lot of the times when debutants come on, they try too much. They try to express themselves too much. I think in this case, very different. With all that calmness around them, Jesse's captained the side as well. Damon's been around the block. I think it's going to be so much easier for a youngster like Wusi and the debutant Cardiff Sardi just to get through his business today.
With that, as much as these young Boks are making their debuts and there's opportunity for them to get out onto the field, there's opportunity for you as home as well to get a Springbok into your backyard. When it comes to Hyundai, you can watch rugby's greatest rivalry alongside John Smith and a mystery Springbok in your home. All you need to do is book a service online on the Hyundai website in the month of July, and you can qualify for that draw. Tendai, you know John Smith pretty well. Wouldn't be a bad option to have him over a braai for a braai during the game?
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be a bad idea. I know John, I call him Barney. That's his nickname. So yeah, you want to go, want to hang around with him. He's a good braai master, I can tell you that for sure.
Well then, you can head over to hyundai.co.za for all of that information. Robbie, this Welsh side coming into the game today, what can we expect from them?
History is very much against them. 82% of the games won by South Africa against Wales. They won just the one test in Bloemfontein, and they've had a number of injuries, particularly to front row forwards. So although he's got 60-odd caps, Lewis Tighthead, BC, he's not really an out-and-out starter for Wales.
Yep, the Tighthead obviously has got a lot of experience. I think he played his last test match in 2017 and they brought him over the last couple of games. So I think obviously, Steve Tandy hasn't had a lot to work with, but I think he's done the best with what he has. And then there's been a lot of injuries up front. So I think they've tried to build some consistency over the last couple of games. They've won 2 out of the last games and they've scored obviously a lot of set-piece tries from the Moles. So I think they'll take a lot of confidence going into a Springbok test match, and hopefully they build on that.
They're the top Maul try scorers in the competition so far, averaging 2 a game. So that's really where they fire shots. What they don't really have, is the combination of the front row along with the tight 5. They really seem to battle in that area. And then he's gone with a 6-2 split today, just to try slow the breakdown down of the Springboks, particularly when they bring their bomb squad on later in the game.
Now, plenty of experience for this Welsh side when it comes to the forward pack, probably most of the experience in their side, Mots. And one of the things that Stephen was speaking about earlier was journeymen, and there's a lot of different international clubs, if you will, that make up this Welsh side. Maybe you can dig deeper into that for us.
We definitely will upstairs. Thank you, gentlemen. This is a Welsh side that is really rebuilding, a side that was almost, or is, where South Africa was back in 2016, 2017, 2018. It seems that they are going through some of their darkest days, and nobody has encapsulated it better than Springbok captain Siya Kolisi.
You've had a few red cards on this tour as a group and taken nothing away from today's performance with that, because that was very, very good. That red card at the end, though, soured it a little bit. What did you make of it?
I'm sure he didn't mean to do that on purpose. There's no ways. I mean, if you go for an eye gouge, you know what happens after that. But hopefully he said sorry to the guy already. But I don't want that to be the highlight of the day. It's been a good day, and also, like, for me, I've listened to what the people have been saying, in the media. Why did Wales play this game? The only way for a team to get better is to play against the best. And I know the first choice guys went here, but there's new guys who got an opportunity. Next year when they come to, they've already faced this. And all I can say to them, they must just pull together. I know Welsh people are fighting people. We don't stand down for anybody. And we've been through this too. 2015, I don't know how many guys retired, and we went through a dip for 2 years straight where we struggled as a team, where people burnt out jerseys and nobody wanted to watch us. And then Coach Rusty came and made a plan. So I know the players will fight, the coaching staff will come up with a plan, but the young boys that played today, they've got a day of experience against playing against the top.
It's always fantastic to see you in Cardiff, Siya. I mean, the crowd behind me here chanting your name. Enjoy the victory, enjoy your time off now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Siya. Great to see you.
Yeah, it seems like sweet words, doesn't it? Like a hot man has come out and said, young men, don't worry. We know exactly where you are, and we know that you can get out of there. And what a great example that was as well. Because Wales, for many, many years, were always a thorn in South Africa's side, Stephen. It seemed every match that you would play against them would be a tight arm wrestle.
Yeah, I think thinking back on those 2016, 2017 years, I was part of a Springbok team that actually lost 5 times in a row against the Welsh, and it's quite tough. But this team is growing, and you can see with their last couple of performances, they're actually starting to pick up their game a little bit. They're finding some solutions to not just their set piece, but just the way they want to play, trying to drive that all the way through to the URC level as well. So this Welsh team is growing, and I think growing into a very tough competition first of all, and then building into a World Cup here next year.
Yeah, look, it's never fun losing, of course, and especially going through a couple of streaks, it's never a pleasure. But looking on the bright side is that you guys are growing into something. You know, in a couple of years' time, things are going to be better. Just be patient, trust the process, and then go forward with it. It's not a good time now, but it's not going to be for long.
Yeah, it's not going to be for long indeed, and Wales have certainly shown that with some of the results they've been getting in recent times. But we want to get you involved in the competitions as well. Head over to supersport.com, won't you, and get involved in the Big Eat competition. This is by Pick and Pay, and you can stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand in Smart Shopper points if you pick the biggest tackle of the afternoon. Just enter at supersport.com. I'm sure that we'll be seeing many of them in the game today. When we return, we'll be looking at more analysis, how the teams will be lining up, some of the changes to the Welsh side going into this one as well. That and more coming up.
South Africa, be sharp, not for persons under the age of 18.
Every day is a hustle. And working while doing my degree, now that's hustling. Thanks to Stadio.
I got my master's degree and shares in Stadio. Thanks to Stadio, I can balance daycare and my diploma.
Getting my degree with all the campus life? That's Stadio.
Stadio gives access, options,
world-class degrees.
On campus.
at home,
Employability.
opportunity.
Stadio, empowering the nation through higher education.
Pep Guardiola's phenomenal reign. He's going to take some beating. 20 trophies across 593 games in 10 years.
SuperSport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports updates 365 days a year.
Under-20 champions, South Africa.
What a performance from Lawrence.
With a team of journalists and presenters at sports venues around the world, we've got you covered.
The start of another brand new
heartbeat of surf culture.
Right here at Dobsonville Stadium is definitely a player to watch.
Stay informed with all our previews and reviews.
We're doing good things as a team, and may this just be the stepping stone of greater things to come.
Stay ahead with fixtures, results, logs, and broadcast times for every major local and international sporting event, 24 hours a day as sports news unfolds. Stay in touch and follow us on X for all your sporting headlines on Africa's premier sports info channel. SuperSport Blitz. Proudly brought to you by My Way.
The Springboks are built different. Big heart, big tackles, big eats. Here's your chance to select the Pick and Pay Big Eat of the match. The tackle that packed the biggest punch. Vote after every Springbok match during the Nations Championship. And if you're a Pick and Pay Smart Shopper card holder, you could win 10,000 Rand in Smart Shopper points. Head to supersport.com for all the details. Brought to you by Pick and Pay, proud retail partner of the Springboks.
He's got it.
Step, side step, still going. Nobody can stop him. Over the line, sensational try. Postnet delivers, no matter what.
Welsh Rugby is going through a bleak time in their proud history. Last year, they finally ended what was their record-losing streak. 644 winless days and 18 consecutive test match losses coming to an end with the victory over Japan. Since then, glimmers of hope have begun to emerge. Their faith in a new generation to turn their fortunes around showed fruit, with more competitive showings in this year's Six Nations underlined by a win over Italy.
And after 15 successive losses in the Six Nations, Wales have finally chalked up a victory.
Not pretty, but just enough to see the hard work behind the scenes beginning to bear fruit. At the start of the Nations Championship, they beat Fiji to show signs of life.
Job done, and if the Welsh Dragon isn't quite breathing fire again, there are at least a few sparks emanating from it at long, long last.
Last week in Argentina, the old struggles resurfaced. A reminder that to return to their old form is a journey that's far from over.
Heartbreaking for Wales, who knew the size of the task ahead of them, yet failed to their 5th test loss of the year.
At the heart of this rebuild is Steve Tandy and a nucleus of young talent, hardened by severe lessons, yet hungry for more.
He's really brought this group together. You know, those little bonds, they don't really come overnight. There's something you have to spend time on, but I think we've spoken about being connected as a group, and that only helps you when you're on the field. You know, in tough moments, you get through it together, you trust each other more. I think this group's just become a lot tighter.
Wales aren't where they want to be yet, but make no mistake, they will be coming back.
Two hemispheres collide here at Kings Park in Durban. It's South Africa up against Wales as we build up to their round 3 match in the Nations Championship. What a so far between the North and the South, and we want to look at some of these impact players on the Wales side. And Jack Morgan has been one that has stood up above the rest. Some of these numbers including 41 successful tackles in this competition, 3 turnovers won as well. So definitely an important man to try and stop that South African ruck ball.
Yeah, Jack Morgan has been a talisman for the Welsh, and he's been carrying the team, and he's been doing a lot of hard work and getting through a lot of battle stats. So I think for a guy like Paul de Villiers, when it comes to the breakdown and trying to stop his poaching, stop his slowing of the ball down, it's going to be a big battle. But he is a great man. I think he carries this Welsh team, he carries his heart on his sleeve, and he just wants to perform week in and week out.
Opa, you have spoken about Aaron Wainwright, one of the players you want to keep an eye on in this game tonight.
Yeah, massive defender, massive ball carrier, so he actually makes a difference. You know, we always talk about set piece, and from scrums, the pick and goes, he can execute that well. If a line-out doesn't really work out, the guys that go same side, they create momentum, they try beat defenders. So he's one of the guys that can make that kind of impact in this Welsh side.
He is, and then even if they do go through a dip in momentum, often you want to look for players that can actually take that ball up, that are brave, running through traffic. He's one of them that not a chance he's going to stand back for anything. He'll pick that ball up and he's going to drive it straight through traffic.
Some of the results between South Africa and Wales in the last 5, or Wales's last 5, and some of those important victories, I think particularly against Italy and Fiji, really lifted their spirit.
Yeah, that victory, starting with the Fiji game, it's such a big game, but also the Barbarians game, just to get them back in a bit of rhythm. This Welsh team is fighting, and they keep on fighting, and we can see the guys are working hard, and they're trusting in their new coach, in Steve Tandy, and they've got systems, and they're building their systems, because everything leads into what's happening next year. So this team is strong, they want to work, they want to improve, and they want to get better each week.
And you also saw them against Argentina. When they played against Argentina, they were strong with their ball carriers, their forwards going the same side. Their kicking game was exceptional, and that's how the Northern teams beat you, by territory. So if they can keep that up, and if they can keep growing in that process, I think Wales has a long way to go. It's going to be great.
And even against that first game against Fiji, Fiji threw a massive amount of offloads, and their defensive system really coped with it. They've got quite a moderate line speed, but it's connected and it's a little bit closer. But from that, you don't really concede many line breaks. So in that instance, this is going to be a really good foundation for them. If they've got a really tight connected defense today, it's a good foundation to start your game really well.
Yeah, a big test coming up from them here against the world champions. Let's hear from their head coach, Steve Tandy.
Steve, welcome to Hollywood Bet Kings Park. Big challenge for you guys today. The form book separates the two teams a little bit. How do you embrace the challenge today?
I think we got to see it as a positive. Come into an amazing stadium, playing the world champions, the back end of the season for us. It's a great place to test ourselves. And look, we've had a good year. We started building, but what a place to test ourselves today.
Where do you see the biggest threat coming from this young Springbok side?
Oh, look, there's experience, there's physicality right across the board. We know we're going to have to be smart in how we play, but also we're going to have to match a lot of the physicality, but in our own way. But look, it's a great test for us.
Are you on the right trajectory? Are you happy with the performance the last week, the building blocks?
Yeah, we were probably really disappointed with last week. We felt there was more in us. Obviously, coming off the back of the Six Nations, beating Fiji, we were probably disappointed. Probably with our speed and our physicality, which is something we know we're going to have to improve on this week to be in the contest.
Couple of late changes?
Yeah, only one. Josh Adams had a tight calf, so Ellis Mees come in, who did really well last week. So, yeah, it doesn't change too much for our team.
And 2 changes in the midfield combined with that change. Is that a worry?
No, I don't think so. I think the boys have deserved an opportunity. Max did really well in the autumn. Unfortunately, he was injured through the Six Nations period, has trained really well. And then Ben Thomas has really responded since not playing after the England game in the Six Nations. And the 2 young centres that have played and had a bit of a combination, the last 6 or 7 games have done really well, but we feel we're going to need a little bit more energy tonight.
Just in terms of that energy, what's an acceptable result for you today?
Oh, look, it's building on our performances, and there's lots of physicality piece that we're going to have to step up with today. And I think for us, it's making sure when we get in the change rooms after the game, we've really pitched up physically and really gone to the well with it.
Super, well, good luck. Thanks for chatting, Steve.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, good luck, man.
And they've made 6 changes, has Steve Tandy to his side, front row. Oh, there it is, the entire team on the field. The only change that has been made, Josh Adams falls out of the match day 23. He's carrying a bit of a calf niggle, and Ellis Mee will be starting in his place. But your thoughts on the side?
Yeah, I think probably looking at the number 1 jersey with Reece Kerr, like he is such a big unit, 140 kilos, try-scoring machine for the Welsh, and he scored, I think, 5 tries in the last 6 games. So from there, Jack Morgan, we spoke about a lot earlier, Thomas Williams, such a big player for the Welsh, and I think they just, if they can find their combinations, they can find a bit of rhythm in the game, they could come out firing.
Carlo, you had mentioned Louis Rees-Zammit a little bit earlier, just his return to rugby. Is he finding his feet?
You know what, he actually spoke about it early on in the week with regarding to just making that transition from NFL back into 15-man rugby. He hasn't found it quite comfortable yet, but I mean, that's admitting it from himself as well. But I mean, he's got speed to burn. If he's got space and he's got a little bit of possession that he's going to be frequented with, he's going to find it, he's going to get down that track, and he's going to make some meters. He's somebody that is really hard to catch. He's really strong in the tackle as well. Aerial skills are decent too. So he's somebody that he needs to have a good game. From himself personally, he's going to put himself under pressure as well to perform.
Speaking of that aerial game, Carlo, I know you had been speaking about just how the Welsh kicking game, that aerial contest that they had against Argentina as well, and just how impressed you are and how they've gone about it differently this time.
The approach of it is really different. I mean, yeah, you've got Argentina giving a really good box kick, staying in the channel, but look at the retreating catcher that's the one that actually feels that kick, as opposed to Blair Murray that's in the backfield who's attacking it and coming out into the air. They kind of keep that Blair Murray or that player that's in the backfield as a safety, either to go in and clean the ruck or to pick up the crumbs from any deflecting ball that's coming out of that drop zone. So it's a very different approach, but an incredibly difficult skill to manage. I mean, that ball is coming over your right-hand shoulder. It's on your blind slide. Ellis Mee makes a fantastic catch, and there in comes your safety in Blair Murray to look after that ball. You can then secure possession, and you're just avoiding that transition back to the attacking team that's wants to retain that kick as well.
And how do South Africa get around that? How do they get around that kind of play by Wales?
Look, essentially, I believe first prize always look to play. If there really is no options to play, then you can kick up in the air. A 50-50 to me is it's either we catch the ball or no one else catches it. And that is essentially the approach that we need to take going into this game. Aerial game is going to be quite important in this game because we know how Wales does play. They play aerial game and they always want to look to get the ball back from there.
Aerial contest is going to be really, really big and has been for South Africa. We saw Scotland get the better of South Africa a few times at Loftus Versfeld. Sam, how do South Africa get around this aerial game by Wales tonight?
A very good question. Thanks very much, Mats and Morby. Maybe I'll start off with you, that aerial battle and how, Carlo speaking about how Wales deal with that. Where do the Springboks then go to get around it?
I don't think we're going to change too much, to be honest. No, they're doing that because you can't use block runners anymore to protect the jumper they're going into the air. So it's actually a very good way of going back for the ball and ensuring that you're blocking that space. And if the last defender's there, there's a safety net, almost a slip catcher, in case you drop the ball. So it's a very clever play. Started by Bristol, I think, during this past season. And now a lot of teams have started picking up, with the All Blacks did it this morning as well. I don't think it's going to change too much what we do. East from the base of the rucks, I think we're still going to bomb it up there. I think Kirtley, Aronson and Co are still going to chase it. Zamet's pretty good in the air. Not so quite good on the other wing, but certainly from our perspective, I don't think we're going to change much as far as our tactical display of our kicking is.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'll add on to that. I think we won't change anything about it. I think the conditions are perfect for playing the style of rugby we play. Abrasive up front. Give the backs a chance to swing the ball down the line and score some amazing tries. So I think it's going to be probably a perfect example, depiction of how the Springboks want to play their rugby today.
How influential will this aerial battle then be in terms of where the game is won and lost, Robbie?
Listen, I just noticed with the Springboks, we tend to give the ball slightly more air at this present time. We don't just use the kicking and aerial battle. I think it's one that we're very adept at and one that we normally do win against opposing sides. I think with Vusi Moyo there as well, perhaps an opportunity to run the ball, to keep the ball a bit more air, get into space, getting into the trams areas, get our big forwards going. We did quite a bit of that against England, a little bit of that against Scotland as well, where we started moving the points of play around quite a bit with regards to ball in hand approach as more to an aerial battle.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to run out. Mods, as we come back to you, we've just seen the Springboks' last 5 results and big wins all around. There's this concept of keeping players grounded. Maybe the guys can help us out with how that happens within the Springbok camp.
I'll definitely throw that to them. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Yeah, keeping your feet on the ground and that battle for jerseys. How does that keep you humble, but also together as a unit?
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest things at the Springboks is the no ego conversation. There is a lot of competition in a lot of these jersey positions. So Rassie is a master at keeping the guys grounded, keeping the guys excited, keeping them on task and aligned to what the Springboks are doing. So I feel the Springboks are one of the most professional groups when it comes to no egos and everyone just pulls in the same direction.
Yeah, it's a real united team, isn't it? And looking good. There he is, the master of it all, Rassie Erasmus, the head coach. We're going to hear from him in just a moment, but the preparation that goes into a Springbok week, any test week. I mean, Opa, I know you complained about the gym all the time. You were like, not again.
No, look, it's hard work being a Springbok. I know that they've been players that say that practice is usually harder than the game, and you've got to prepare yourself as best as you can. Look at how hard they're gymming right now, working hard, making sure that they represent the country, because look, you need to put each other under pressure essentially, because if you don't, then another player is going to come and take your position, and essentially you don't want that, like you said, with the egos thing. So you need to work hard so that you deserve to play, so that you can actually represent your country to the best of your ability.
Opa, you're talking about how hard it is to be a Bok. Try play against them. It's the hardest test match you're ever going to play. The physicality is just relentless. Some of the chat coming out of Wales early on this week was that legendary defensive coach Shaun Edwards is talking about it being the ultimate man test, playing the Springboks in South Africa. It's just relentless from an emotional physicality point of view. Yeah, it's something that the memory doesn't go away fast.
Yeah. I see you holding onto your arm there. A couple of bruises, eh? So much for that soft shoulder. Well, let's hear from the man himself, Rassie Erasmus.
Rassie, you've picked an unbelievably exciting squad. What excites you most about this team?
Obviously the four guys that have their debut. Yeah, I think he's the youngest 10 ever in the history, so that's great for him. And obviously the other 3 guys also really excited for them. But then to win the match, that's probably the thing that's the most important. And to get our game right, because we've been chopping and changing, we haven't been fluid as we want to be.
So when you say get it right, what do you think's missing?
I would really like to see, we're definitely getting our attacking game there. Last week, a few defensive errors with some new personnel coming in. But overall, I don't feel we have as much scrum ball dominance as we'd like to be. The laws have definitely changed, I think, for the better. And I don't think we've used it well so far.
And of course, Wales will bring that challenge. Their strength is their set piece.
Exactly. If you watch the games, scrums and mauling is that's going to be the great test today for us. To not just match them, try and beat them at that.
Just going back to the young 10 you've picked on, what have you said to him? What guiding words have you given to him?
No, well, Tony and Stalker is mostly talking to the backs. You know, you know yourself, I can't give you lots of advice there. I think the structures will keep him calm, and the players around him will keep him calm. And then also, you know, Carly, he's a good scrummer, but he's playing tight end for the first time at this level. And then the same with Ruben and Yaku, who's really young at wing.
Thanks for chatting, Rassie. Good luck and well done again.
Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Another week and 10 changes that have been made to the South African starting 15. So this is how they will be lining up today. Kalusadu, the debutant, and Ruben van Heerden, they're part of that forward pack. But they are ably assisted by, of course, the captain, Peter Steph-Tutoyo, 97 caps. Jasper Visa at the back of that scrum as well. So plenty of experience to make sure that they feel comfortable in this debut game. And then in the back line, Kobus Reinach and Busi Moyo taking over from Hanwe Pollard as well as Ambrose Papir. Yaku Williams in the back three together with Apele Lefasi and Kirkley Arnser. And in the midfield, Jesse Creel and Damian Dialendi, the most settled midfield pairing South Africans ever had. Steve, you've played with both of them, quality pairing, and enough for our debutants to also feel settled.
Yeah, I think the two of them in the midfield, they bring a lot of calmness and a lot of sharpness within this Springbok backline. So they just know what they're doing. They work hard, they work for each other, they understand the box system. So with Damian De Allen just outside Vusi Moyo and Jesse Creel on the outside of him, they bring that little bit of experience and calmness to actually, as Rassie said, one of the youngest teams to ever represent the Springboks in the history of the Springboks.
Let's also talk about the bench, because the quality on the bench is absolutely world class. We also have Herschel Yankees coming back into the squad. His last game was in August 2023. So good to see him back. But what do you expect from the bench today? A 5-3 split as well.
Yeah, no, I think what we want to see is obviously guys that are going to finish the game on a strong note, just as good as how we start. So guys like Damien Willemse that are going to come on, Mani Libo coming back as well. You know, Herschel Yankees, it's been a while since he's played again. Welcome back. It's going to be exciting seeing those guys, how they make a difference in the Springbok jersey.
And I think one of the scariest things, I think, in world rugby is seeing Wilco Low coming off the bench at the end of the game. Somebody's got to face that. Somebody's got to deal with that. When you've already taken 60, 70 minutes on the legs, and then you've got to deal with Wilco Low as well. So it's a massive bench, massive bench.
Massive indeed. A little scattering as far as the experience is concerned, but quality coming off the bench. Marco van Staden in your picture as well. How vital will he be, especially in the closing stages of this match?
Yeah, it's also someone that carries the ball extremely well. So when there's moments to gain momentum or to stop momentum, he's the man for the job. Eskom, he just knows how to do the job, and he does the job exceptionally well. So you'll have Paul de Villiers for 70 minutes or 60 minutes, hunting breakdown, slowing ball down, and then all of a sudden Marco van Staden comes onto the field and he just absolutely a menace when it comes to that breakdown threat.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what they'll be able to bring off of the bench. Sam, back to you as we get you and your panel's predictions for this match. How do you guys see this one going between South Africa and Wales?
Yeah, going to find out from them here, particularly from the gentleman who's crossed 100, a couple of them in the Springbok camp who are approaching that too. But winners today, Beast?
Definitely the Springboks are going to win by 20-25 points comfortably.
25 points comfortably. What about your side, Robbie?
I think it's the Wales team that's going to be battered and bruised after this one. I reckon 25-30 as well.
Well, big Springbok results here that are being predicted on the side of the field. Mats, what about you guys?
Gentlemen, your predictions, Carlo?
The Boks are averaging over 40 points, so it's going to be in the region of 40 plus. But I think Wales are going to get something, so I've got 42-7.
Oops.
No, I think, look, I don't want to downplay the Welsh rugby, but I think the Boks are going to take it by about 20 points.
Yeah, similar. I think they're just too strong. I think the Boks they've got the power, they've got the team, they've got the talent. 40+ points.
40+ points. Let's head over to Spur and hear how some of those Springbok fans think this match is going to go.
Thank you, Motsidisi, and your panel. We are live here at Grand Canyon Spur in Pinetown. A beautiful Spur, which actually is close to home for me because I grew up just down the road and I had many experiences that were excellent here. I particularly enjoyed their ribs. But we're not here for me. We are here because a young man's won himself a great opportunity to lead the Springboks out as the mascots, and his family is also here, and it's their first time at a rugby game, so I'm sure it's going to be a special day. Raheel, tell me, how do you feel about today?
Very excited.
That's perfect. And tell me, what sort of feelings come out of you when you think about going to meet your favorite players?
Like, I feel excited, happy to see my favorite player.
I can see the smile on your face. And tell me, how's the family feeling about the experience as well?
We are very excited. This is our first time going to watch a rugby match. And we just want to wish the Springboks all the best. And thank you, Raheel, for giving us a wonderful opportunity.
That's awesome. Thank you, Raheel. Now, let's get the prediction. Tell me the score. Who do you think is going to win? And what score do you think it's going to be?
Definitely the Springboks. We are from South Africa. We had to back our boys up. And I'm 100% sure it's going to be 60-20.
We can take 60-20, and that's going to be a great score for Bruce Springboks. And back to you in studio.
Thank you, Kaya. The captains have done the coin toss. Peter Steph Totoya and Dewey Lake, and looking forward to this one. It's the big one. South Africa up against Wales. It is the third round of the Nations Championship, and one more chance for either a North or a Southerner to be able to put a tick next to the Hemispheres box. Handshakes are done, and it will be all but physicality on the field. We are going to be live here at Kings Park in just a moment for kickoff.
North meets south. The collision begins. 12 nations, one seismic competition where hemispheres collide. The Nations Championship 2026, only on the World of Champions. Because this is how we rugby. Proudly sponsored by Pick n Pay, Coca-Cola, and FNB.
You don't rise to the occasion. You rise to the standard you set every day. Every gram measured. Every detail matters. The best don't talk about it. They prove it. It's time to up your standards. South Africa's most tested and trusted sports nutrition and vitamins brand. Biogen, official sports nutrition and vitamin supplier to the Springboks and all national rugby teams.
We believe News 24 voted us the best short-term insurer in the country 4 years in a row because we treat our clients fairly when they claim. Consider this, the number of complaints per 1,000 claims that are sent to the Ombudsman.
An all-time low 0.77 complaints per 1,000 claims.
And how many of these complaints get overturned by the Ombudsman?
An incredible all-time low overtime ratio of 3%.
This is Natasha, and she's obsessed about giving our insurance clients the best service in the industry. And these are the people that make sure with every call, you always get something out.
When the Springboks said they needed more lineman camps, more flights, more hotel rooms, and more cake.
It's for us.
Of course we said, we'd like to help.
This is football like never before. More games, more chances to play. More teams, more chances to win. More drama, more chances to feel the action. More rewards with Betway's Soccer Jackpot.
Crazy, I couldn't believe it.
Hello?
Hello, what's up? This is Rassi. You've won the competition.
I'm calling you up to be a Bok of Coca-Cola.
This is our new friend.
I think we should call him Shorty.
Now what?
Hey, Sterry.
Whoa.
He's in my notes.
Cheers, Iceman.
Buy, scan, enter, and you could win a call-up to be a Bok with Coca-Cola.
Saving money on your business insurance means more money for your business. So, switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Now, it's a smart business move. Yes, Nico?
I was my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to OUTsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save with OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08 600 60,000 today.
The man in charge of this test match battle in Durban is Andrew Brace. The 38-year-old has one of the most colourful histories in the sport. Born in Cardiff, referees for Ireland while having played rugby for Belgium. He'll be assisted by Pierre Brousset and James Dolman, while Glenn Newman is the TMO.
The newly minted Nations Championship takes center stage this evening in the Zulu Kingdom of KwaZulu-Natal. Tonight, a Springboks side on a 10-match win streak take on the pride of Wales. Green and gold all around Hollywoodbets Kings Park this evening. The weather conditions wonderful. Of course, it remains to be seen how much any potential dew will affect the ongoing tonight. I will consult with more expert voices than mine on that in a few moments' time. But right now, we await the arrival of these two prestigious sides. The Nations Championship is off to some kind of start. A fascinating fixture between Scotland and Fiji having just concluded. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the log as we conclude the first section of fixtures before, of course, November comes around. And the finals weekend at Allianz Twickenham from the 27th to the 29th of November beckons for the side that finishes top of the log. The log, of course, being the log of the South and the log of the North. Currently, the number one side for the log in the South is New Zealand, the All Blacks, and South Africa, should they win by 14 points tonight, will claim top spot once more. But those fixtures in November will decide it all and see who makes it all the way till the end. Festivities galore, of course, are to be expected before any Springbok match, and this is some kind of match coming our way this evening. Wales languishing in 12th position in the world rugby rankings, one place above Georgia, one below Japan, and of course, coming off the last match against South Africa, being in Cardiff, which they lost by 73 points to 0. A stunning result, but they were missing 13 players on that day, many South African players missing as well. And today, you'll see a Springbok side that once again is experiencing heavy rotation and 4 debutants. 2 different types of debutants making their debuts today. Those who are 20 years old and those who are 29 years old. Tremendous achievement of resilience to make it all the way to that age, still dreaming of that first green and gold cap. But for now, let's look at the Dragons of Wales making their way onto the park here at Hollywoodbets Kings Park for a match against the Boks. Dowie Lake went off the field against Argentina, but has made it back from that injury to start against the Springboks today. Crucially so, the talismanic leader of this Wales side. Rhys Carey starts at loose head. 5 tries in his last 6 matches. They've got 2 Lions in their squad as well. We'll take a look at their lineup in just a few moments' time. Before that, here come the EMP. Springbok side with 4 debutants in the ranks, having been shaken up by Scotland running free in that second half. Look to set things right here in Durban. Stoic as always, the 2-time World Rugby Player of the Year, and what a leader he is. pride of the Swampland, the Malmesbury missile. Peter Steptoe, deputizing, of course, for Sia Kolisi, who was present today as part of the warm-ups. Eben Etzbeth also in the house. A number of injuries at lock. And some of those injuries opening the door for the likes of Ruben van Heerden, who makes the step up today. Karel Lusari getting his first look. Before it all kicks off, of course, we have the national anthem. It's going to be an emotional time for that man right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we commemorate Mandela Day in honor of the great statesman, we will ask you all to rise in the 67th minute of today's match to celebrate the contribution of Tata Madiba to this country, this continent, and the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are willing and able, please be upstanding for the singing of the Welsh national anthem, sung today by Darius Demski.
Mahen wlad fy nadau yn annwyl I mi, wlad baedd a phantorion, enwogion o fri, a'i gwrol rafelwyr, glad garwyr dramad, dros raddyd, cochla sant a'i gwaed.
Please remain standing for the singing of the South African national anthem, which will be sung by all of you and Pearl Adams.
Kosi sigileni Afrika, malu pangan Yesu pondolayo, Yezwa imitanda soyetu. Kosi sigilena tina lusamulwayo, murena buluka sichaba sa Yesu. Ufedi sedentwale machwenye ho usibuluke o sibuluke sichaba sa Yesu sichaba sa South Africa, South Africa. 80 below fun on Sayama, 80 deep tough fun on Sia. Word on Spiava, Batus, van die kranse antwoord geven. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa.
The energy is electrifying in Durban tonight as we prepare for the conclusion of the first portion of the Springboks season, and what a box season it is. There's a match against Argentina coming on the 8th of August, and thereafter on the 22nd we head to Ellis Park. But before that, we've got some young men and some not so young men to celebrate tonight as they make their first appearances. But first up, let's take a look at the Welsh lineup, led as they so often are by the ever impressive Dawi Lake. They've had a late change to their starting lineup as Ellis Mee is starting in the number 11 jersey. Josh Adams dropping out with an injury. Up front, watch out for Wainwright. He is the #1 carrier for Wales in the Nations Championship. Got a yellow card against South Africa in Cardiff last year. That change in the back line, Elias Mee starting ahead of Josh Adams, Dan Edwards, along with Thomas Williams, one of the 2 British and Irish Lions players in the Welsh lineup today. That bench will have plenty to do. Tommy Raffel, Tommy Turnover as they call him, is going to have to come on and make an impact against the lot you're about to take a look at now. 4 debutants in the ranks. Let's start with those. Karol Usadi, Ruben van Heerden, Vusi Moyo, and on the left wing, on the right wing rather, Yaku Williams. Here is the starting lineup up front. Steenekamp getting a rare chance. Karol Usadi getting a debut towards the end of his 20s. Kobus and Jasper Wiese starting, the 2 brothers up front. Vusi Moyo, 20-year-old in the number 10 jersey, a product of King Edwards, and Yaku Williams playing on the wing. He hails from Kwanojoli, formerly known as Somerset East. 50 years between Springboks produced from that small town in the Eastern Cape. Herschel Jantjies playing his rugby in France right now is ready to come off the bench. A long hiatus for him. And Andre Higo Venter, last played for the Boks in 2024, his one and only cap, which came with a try as well. My co-commentator today is Joel Stransby. Joel, it's a big one.
It's a good one. Everyone's a good one at the moment. Stubbsy, thank you very much and good evening all. The evolution of Springbok rugby continues, doesn't it? And Rassie with 4 debutants in the starting lineup. It's an exciting 15. And they will want to build on the strong foundation that's in place already.
Wales successfully collecting off their own kickoff, and good start that they would have been hoping for.
Okay, stop White, advantage over.
Dan Edwards.
Backwards.
Taken in by the debutant, Moyo. This is, of course, his home ground, him being a shark coming from South Africa.
Clean the tackle area, please, 12.